So I want to tell you a story that's true, and it happened a long time ago before I was born. My grandparents used to live in the bush at a place that we called Moose Lake. So when they were young parents, they ended up having 5 daughters, but their first daughter, my Auntie Judy, they took her to the bush a lot. And when Judy was a baby, they would always tie her up in her cradle board or her tikinagin at night. And because there was no electricity in the bush, they had to use a kolai lantern, which is filled with kerosene gas, and you light it up with a match and you can make your flame bigger or higher. And that's what they used in the old days to light their homes up. So one night, when my grandparents put the baby to bed and they were sleeping, it was winter and the door just blew open and the lantern went out and they couldn't see anything. And then they heard my Aunt Judy crying. So my grandma said, "Edgar, check for the baby." And they scrambled and they were looking all over, but they couldn't feel her cradle board. They didn't know where she was. And when my grandpa finally got the match lit and turned the lantern on, my Aunt Judy was fully dressed on the bed in all of her winter clothes, and the door was open because the little people came and they were going to take her with them. The only reason they didn't take her was because she was still being breastfed by her mother, so she wasn't able to be separated. So the little people are like spirits, and they're like children. There's different kinds and different tribes. Some of them we call the Mimigwesiwag, and they live in the rocks and they're on the water. Some of them are like fairies, and they're like magical. They can shape shift, they can change their faces, and they can turn into people we know and trick us into following them into the bush. And some of them are like kids themselves, and they like to wear red and green, and they like to steal shiny things and play with you. So if you ever see a little person, it might it might be Serenity. Thank you. This is a story that my friend's mom told me a long time ago when we were your age. Back home or in communities, when people are misbehaving and fighting and they're out of balance, everybody starts to see scary things and all the negative spirits come out, and they want to give you warnings so you listen and behave and start, treating other people right. So a long time ago in my community, before any of us in this room were ever born, there was a big celebration happening, and everybody was just having a good time. They weren't worrying about their families or anything that they needed to do. And along came a tall, dark, handsome stranger. He showed up at the celebration and he started dancing with everybody in the room, all the ladies, and they were having such a good time, and then they heard knocking on the floor. So they looked down, and this stranger had hooves for feet. So everybody got scared and ran away because the boogeyman showed up at the party and to come and celebrate. Yeah, he had hooves for feet. So one night when I was your age, I was sleeping on my grandma's couch, and I heard knocking, and it sounded like, and I was scared. I thought that boogeyman showed up, and he came onto the porch. And I went to my grandma's room and I said, "Grandma, Papa, there's somebody dancing on the porch and I'm scared." So they said, "There's nobody here, go back to bed." And I went back to bed, and then I heard it again. And this time it sounded louder, so I screamed, and then I ran back to the room and they said, "It's the laundry, go back to bed." So I went to go look, and I didn't hear the washer or the dryer going. So then I got really scared, and I was waiting on the couch for the noise to happen again. Sure enough, it starts again. And then I went, ah! So they came running out, and I was pointing at the door because I thought the coat hanger had turned into a scary man in the dark. And then they finally heard it, so they went to go look outside, and you know who it was? There was a big fat porcupine sitting on the stairs, and he was chewing on the steps. And I thought it was the monster dancing all the time, coming to get me. Yeah. Porcupines eat wood.